What is up, everybody? We are back on the Sweat It Out podcast. And today we have a special guest, Juan Guzman. How's it going, brother?
What's up, man? Everything's good. Staying busy, doing that thing.
How you
How you
been?
guys doing? I've been good, man. Been busy, but definitely trying to get used to everything going on right now. But different times causes you to pivot, and we're working through it.
Yeah, you got to be resilient, got to adjust and kind of take what's coming at us, I guess, right?
For sure.
Definitely we could say here that, everybody we speak with, we hear somewhat of a little story of their experience of how they're handling, the situations that, we're facing today, both, in a negative, positive way and how we can shift that. So, hearing that perspective from everybody's end is definitely something interesting. But moving aside from that, I really want to start things off and set the tone with getting to know you better and being able to understand Juan and where he started his journey and how that journey brought you to be who you are today as a successful individual, and being able to dive into those obstacles and successes along the way. So the floor is yours. Let's get everybody going and excited.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of it. Well, right now I'm currently a doctor of physical therapy. Graduated in 2018. I currently work as a master fitness instructor for Antidote Wellness Labs. I work at Barry's Boot Camp as well on the beach, down by where I live. I live on South Beach right now.
Where in South Beach are you? You work at the one right in Sunset Harbor?
Are you? No, yeah, exactly.
He's a king of South Beach.
I used to be right. I used to train at Shift. I used to train my clients at Shift. Yeah, nice. I was there for like 2 years.
Yeah, I live right next to Yardbird. It's like the best and worst thing ever.
Okay, yeah, I'm off of. Well, I guess maybe we shouldn't. I'm off of West Ave. I don't want to like give my address. We're gonna be on YouTube.
I'm yeah. Yardbird. Eventually, you'll see me at Yardbird at some point. You just gotta hang out there long enough.
Okay, I don't know, man. That food is greasy as fuck. I can't. That shit tears me apart, dude.
I mean, for me, every once in a while, it's great. When I first moved in there, I would eat there like once or twice a week. But
damn, dude, damn. You must have the most resilient gut of all time. I go there, just smelling the food, driving by there. I'm like, oh. It is good. It is good. Anyone?
Last time I went there, no lie, I remember this was like a year and a half, 2 years ago. I think it was for one of Jenny's friends' birthday parties.
Yeah.
Literally, I went home and had the worst shits of life. Everyone on YouTube, sexiest man alive over here.
I've been fine. I've been good. I do have a resilient gut.
I love the food. I'm not saying I don't love the food. I'm just saying I did have the worst shits.
You're like by energy, where energy meditation used to be.
Pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever go there? You ever go to like those classes there?
No, I've been there for like about a year and a half. Okay. But yeah, I've mainly stuck around because I play volleyball.
Okay. So you're down at the courts all the time.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. I mean, not as of recent, but yeah.
Right. They're closed still. They're still closed.
They've been closed for like almost 4 or 5 months now.
What a travesty. Man.
Dude, it's been insane. I literally moved to the beach to play often, and like I haven't been able to play. I'm very upset.
Bad timing.
We do, yeah. But I've literally been driving up to Pompano and driving up to Delray to train my coach up there, and then I just drove up to Delray this weekend to play. So it's been nice. Yeah.
So going back to, I know we
sorry,
went off tangent.
Anytime someone's on South Beach, I'm like, hey.
South Beach, Syracuse, you name it, running.
Yeah. Got it.
Running. Yeah, I'm a fucking king runner over here.
Yeah.
Man. But just to bring things back, I want to see tell us again, you said South Beach, from where all this started and how this grew into fruition.
I mean, so where I am now is kind of like, I guess I wanted to start from where I am now and then like work my way backwards. But like really, I'm just sitting here where I am right now in at Antidote Wellness Labs. It's like it's right up the street from where I first started working. It's a real small rinky-dink type gym right here in the same Sunnyland Plaza. It's called Pinecrest Health and Fitness. It was great people, awesome like homey family type environment, and I really loved it. And I was like 18 at the time. I started working front desk. And I kind of just tried to level up from there. I saw the trainers working with people. I saw one-on-one sessions going on. I saw spinning going on. And I was like, this seems like it's something fun. It's something active. It's something that, you're helping people, helping them get better, stronger, healthier. And it's something that I kind of want to be involved with. And I was actually in college going for school for my nutrition and dietetics degree. And so that's my undergrad. It's my Bachelor of Science in Dietetics and Nutrition, but I decided not to continue the path for my RD, but go along with physical therapy. But yeah, I became a personal trainer in 2012. So I've been training for like 9 years now. And then when I was 21, I ended up quitting Pinecrest Health and Fitness after 3 years and joining Orange Theory Fitness. And I was an Orange Theory instructor throughout the rest of my undergrad degree. And in between my undergrad and grad school, there was about a year and a half where I wasn't in school and I was just working on the grind. And it was pretty good. I was teaching 20-something classes a week, doing personal training clients. I would have I'd work like 30, 40 hours a week and be making quite a bit. But I knew that I didn't have all the knowledge that I wanted, because people would ask me, hey, I have a knee injury, I have a back injury, I have this, and this. And like my go-to was like, oh, if you have a knee injury, let's not do a squat. Let's do bicep curls. Like, let's do this instead. Like, let's adjust here. And I didn't feel like I was well enough prepared to handle those situations when they came to me, until I went into PT school and I got into PT school. But even then, I mean, I had my NSCA cert. That's the original one that I pursued, and I thought that I knew a lot about biomechanics, and I thought that I knew a lot about muscles, and I thought I knew a lot about joints and all that stuff. And even
don't we all?
Dude, my first year of PT school, I was like, I don't know shit.
That's how I felt. That's how I felt when I started my master's program. Same thing.
Dude,
it's like, crazy. Man, I feel like I know nothing compared to all these people. What was I doing at Syracuse? Just partying.
Dude, what's your background?
I have my master's in exercise science and health promotion. My concentration is like corporate health promotion though. Because I worked in the strength conditioning facility at Syracuse.
In Syracuse.
Yeah, and also at FAU where I got my master's.
Yeah, exactly. So like going in, you're like, oh man, I feel like, oh, I'm in the master's program. They picked me because I know something, and then like you get in.
You don't know shit.
You're kind of dumb.
Yeah. You're kind of. I literally was like sitting in the back, like, man, these kids are a lot smarter than I am. I got a long way to go.
But it's good. It gave you something to like grind for. And like that's super important for me. Is like I never ever want to feel like I'm the smartest person in the room, because then
you're in the wrong
number
room.
one. Yeah, exactly. You're never going to develop any further, and that's where you're going to get stuck. And so that's kind of where I felt with PT school, was like getting in there and learning much more about the human body and about physiology and about how you put it all together and help people through injury and how you help people perform better, because that's kind of my passion. And so if I have the confidence that PT school gave me, and I have the humility to say that I don't know everything all the time and continue to research, I think I'm on the right track to just continue to become better in my profession, and personal life and all that stuff too. And it's kind of like the mindset that I have when it comes to everything that I've pursued.
So how has, after all the years of schooling, and now that you've been in the field for a while, like really hands-on with the people at Antidote, what is your philosophy on training now, and how has that changed since, when you first entered the industry?
So when I first entered group fitness in the industry, because I owned my own practice for about a year and some change before I started doing this Antidote and developing coaches and turning them into, I guess, what ideally I would want a coach to be. If I were the physical therapist and I was seeing a patient who came to me and let's say they did group fitness, like they did Antidote, or they did group, or they did berries, or they did any of these kinds of classes that you have going on. I think that group fitness is a great incentivizer for people. Like I myself don't even like working out by myself anymore. I enjoy a group atmosphere. No worries. I enjoy a group atmosphere. He was unfazed, by the way. Mendez didn't even move.
I have the worst.
Blinders.
I have like the worst. I sneeze all the time. It's like, especially nowadays, people are like, "Oh fuck!"
I literally didn't know that happened until you went back and said, "Excuse me." And I was like, "Okay, you just."
He's so focused, man. He's so focused. It's the beard. It's the beard. Keeps him locked in.
Legitimate. So I think that group fitness is a great outlet for people, and it's a great way to keep people moving. And that's when it comes down to is health is movement. If you stop moving, you become stagnant. If you become stagnant, you become unhealthy. If you become unhealthy, like all this shit's going to pile up on you. It's a huge domino effect. So why not have somebody do something that they like to do and teach them how to do it safely?
Mhm.
So a lot of my PT, like I would give discounts to people that would come in and they were members of a gym facility, like a group fitness facility, because I encouraged it. Um, and having the background, knowing what these programs went into, like knowing what went into Barry's, knowing what went into Orange Theory, knowing what goes into camps or any other kind of group fitness facility, and being embedded in it, um, allowed me an advantage, I think, over other PTs, because I would say, you know, when this program comes up on the screen at like Orange Theory or something, when this program comes on the screen and you see this exercise, I want you to do this instead, up until I can get you to do this safely, and then you can progress to doing that. And so having that, like, understanding what their base was, what their push, what their all out was, all that stuff, and being able to regress them back to something that was doable, but not stop them from doing something that was keeping them moving. You know, because certain PTs or certain professionals will tell you, hey, if you have an injury, take, you know, 2 months off, or take 6 weeks off, or take 4 weeks off. And what the person does is they become discouraged, and they just, either they completely stop coming to see you as their primary care, or they stop seeing you as their physical therapist, and they just kind of do their own thing and like say, you know, PT is not worth it, or they have these bad misconceptions about really what our knowledge is or what our background is, because they never give us a chance, because we never gave them a chance.
Exactly.
So I think being embedded in that program, or being embedded in group fitness while doing PT, is something that's super important to me.
So I want to ask you, you know, bringing that up, which I think is, you know, definitely important for people wanting to enjoy what they're doing, but obviously in a safe environment. What were some of the conversations that you were having? You know, like you mentioned, you know, people from the Orange Theories, the Berry boot camps, you know, separating yourself apart, still offering a group style setting. You know, I know you guys in Antidote, you know, do a great job. What are some of these conversations that you have with your clients and leads, to show them the importance of, you know, still having that group environment fun and be able to enjoy what they're doing, but yet understanding that there's certain things in place that need to be able to take, you know, practiced in order to then move forward and be able to do more advanced stuff. Knowing that in some other group, not, you know, I'm not here trying to bash on people, but knowing that many
Yeah.
group exercise
Go
places
in.
out there,
Yeah.
don't do that, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I know, because I've taken some of your classes at Antidote. I've, you know, I held event there, you know, so I see what you guys are doing, and, you know, there's a difference. You know, how have you guys been able to bring that onto people and make them understand and make them realize this is why this is important, instead of just grabbing somebody and throwing them in a random class?
Correct. I think being able to speak with the owners of the gym, and they've given me, thank God, a lot of freedom with how I choose to train the instructors that are here. And me and Danny DeLarco, we work very hand in hand on programming for the clients. So like any class that you do when you come into Antidote Wellness Labs is curated by a physical therapist and someone who's very good at inspiring people, which is Danny. And we're both, as a team, we work really well training our trainers to relay that same message to our clients and our members. So although we want you to push yourself to new levels, we want you to find new strengths. We want you to find that inner strength to pull it out of you once you're in there. We think that being able to communicate that message in a safe manner is super important. So every trainer that I have become an instructor here, or have a coach here, they have to go through a process with me and Danny on how to relay messages, because we're not the type of coaches that will tell you push yourself, push yourself, push yourself, don't stop, ignore the pain, ignore the pain, ignore the pain, go, 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 go. But we calculate the words, and we calculate the messages that we're trying to convey to our members. And in our group trainings and in our continuing education with our instructors, which happen monthly or bi-monthly, we stress that so much, and we do workshops, continuing to do workshops with our new equipment, with our sandbags that we got going on now,
Amazing.
with the boxing we got going on now, with the climbers we got. How do you get somebody who's on a climber and they're feeling like their lower back is kind of starting to get fatigued or something like that? Is it that they're doing the exercise incorrectly, or they're doing the climber incorrectly? Or are they holding a certain position that is causing their back to get fatigued because their lower back muscles are not strong enough, or don't have the endurance to maintain that position properly for as long as they're trying to hold it? So is it just a small little light bulb that has to turn on for the member? And you, as an instructor, as a coach, have to be able to tease that out of somebody. And that can only happen if you have the tools that are appropriate, which is why I love the position that I hold here at Antidote, it's like people ask me because they understand that I have not only the experience coming from teaching over 5,000 group classes, so I have the experience of how to convey the message to multiple different peoples and populations, but I also have the knowledge behind it from going to physical therapy school for 3 years, you know? And so I can combine both my PT background and my group fitness background and mesh it into one.
I think we can all agree that, you know, group fitness has taken a huge shift in the industry, and that's something that, you know, has really blown up, where even now during times like this, you're still seeing a lot of online group classes, online Zooms, you know, online fitness in groups. So group fitness has truly, you know, taken a huge shape in the way we've grown in the industry. But we've always seen a backlash of, you know, underperformance or injuries, or not the quality of value being driven in these group classes, because it is harder to do, or it's just the lack of knowledge. So, you know, the fact that you brought up about communicating with your clients constantly, and the people coming into the gym, and then also to taking them through these trainings with the equipment you have, you know, seeing that you guys take your time to do that, I think that's also a part that separates you guys from other, you know, group fitness classes where, you know, you're just thrown in, you know, a coach is just telling you one time, hey, this is what you got to do, shows you once, and that's it, you know, and then there's no constant communication. When do you see usually group settings in big gyms sit down with your clients the way I've seen, because I've seen you guys do it, you know, sit down and actually speak to them and educate them and communicate with them and take your time to do that, you know? So I think that's a great way to be able to lead the industry in the group fitness aspect and drive more value as well. So I definitely, I see that tremendously, which is great.
Well, I think too, you know, and I've been saying this for years, is like, you know, anyone can progress in exercise, right? Like it's not that hard to make a movement more difficult for someone, especially with the populations that we tend to work with in Miami, you know, for lack of a better term, you know, sometimes they're, you know, motor morons. They, you know, they really don't know how to move their bodies. And, you know, a lot of them are either, you know, out of shape and it's evident to see, or they have that, like, you know, skinny on the outside, fat on the inside type look, right? Where like they might look healthy.
They look like they fit the part.
Yeah, they might look healthy, but really, you know, you and I and Mendez, like having a trained eye, make it very easy to tell like that they're actually untrained, you know?
Yeah.
Whereas like a good coach or a great coach, right, really has a plethora of regressions in their toolbox, like you were saying, right? So like if something is too hard, if a climber is too hard, or if, you know, this push-up variation is too hard, how do we break it down so that it's something that's manageable for everyone to do without feeling, especially when you're talking about these big group classes, right? Like 30, 40, 50, you know, some of the ones that we have, I'm sure you guys have monster ones too, where it's like 80, 100 people. Like, I want everyone to still feel like they're getting the same workout, even if they're not all at the same level, right? So like, how do you make, if someone can do a kettlebell swing and 5 other people can't, how do you make that adjustment, you know, in order to make those 5 people that can't do the kettlebell swing feel like the couple of people who can do the kettlebell swing, right? And that's really what I think makes a really good coach, especially when you start talking about group fitness, is like making sure that the experience is the same for everyone.
Group fitness is inclusive. Group fitness has to be inclusive.
Right.
If you make it too difficult, or you make a movement way too complicated, you're making it exclusive, and you're automatically shutting out 80% of the population. Just to throw out a random number, this is research backed, but like, you're literally saying, hey, if you can't do this, either learn how to do it, or like
get out of here.
Like, that's not the way that it is. You need to be able to regress things back down. And that's where having that breadth of knowledge is important. And that's where these continuing education goes. I mean, I literally start off when we do like a sandbag clean or something like that. We just did this in the last workshop. It's like, hey, what if somebody can't do a sandbag clean? Well, they can do a deadlift and they can do a squat, right? So why can't they just do 5 squats and 5 deadlifts? They're still getting the same kind of volume. And they're working their way up to doing components, or you're breaking down the clean into different components, and you're making it very doable for somebody else. Now, one thing about Antidote Wellness Labs, it's good, is that we divide people into almost like segments or like sections. Mendez, you saw the most recent class that you took with the boxing included. That's like the 2.0 version. So like when people were actually on the fitness floor,
I took the booty class too.
Yeah, the booty class was
Of
with
course
Dyla.
he
Yeah,
did. He
that
kind of
was
needs to
great.
work on that though.
That
You
was
know, it's
great.
like the quads are filled out. The quads are
Yeah,
filled out in the
quads are great.
sweatpants, but the
Yeah,
backside,
Woo!
it's
the
all
backside's
wallet. It's
baggy.
all wallet back there.
Yeah, he's not sliding off the chairs. He
I don't know. You should
doesn't.
ask Jenny. I don't know. This booty's pretty strong.
Yeah.
Lots of hip
So like
extension.
the class is actually divided to where it becomes more manageable for the coach. Prior to this switch that we did with our group fitness, we would have 20 people lined up all doing the same thing, and it's very difficult to correct the person all the way in one corner versus the other. Now I have them all in a smaller group, and I can actually reach multiple people much faster, which is great.
Now,
way that we do it.
Having worked for, big group fitness companies like Barry's with like Antidote, right, where, you can deal with smaller client groups compared to, Barry's, on the beach, I'm pretty sure you can fit like 40, 45 people in there,
Yeah, you can 50.
Do you see more benefit in like the smaller, because I feel like a lot of gyms, especially smaller, mom and pop, like, brick and mortar gyms are using small group training more than ever, right? Compared to before, it was just pack them in and churn them out, right?
Yeah.
Do you find that there's more benefit? I mean, obviously with the big group classes, you have all of that energy, the music's loud, there's chaos everywhere. So it's just kind of easy for people to feel
organized
comfortable.
chaos.
Yeah.
Organized chaos.
People,
Yes.
I feel like people feel more comfortable in there because if they don't know something, they can kind of just like, hide in the back. Whereas the small group classes, like, regardless, you're up in the forefront.
Yeah.
So you're always kind of have eyes on you, especially if there's a couple of coaches around. So do you feel like you found more benefit with the members at Antidote in the smaller group setting, or do you think?
So Antidote in itself is like, when we don't have this class capacity of 50%, we can fit 40 people in there.
Right.
But the whole concept is there's a couple of people, half the class is doing cardio and the other half is doing the strength, but they're doing slightly different things. So like for a punch day, like the day that you came, Mendez, is people are doing boxing. That's generally something that you're not going to hurt yourself with unless you're really trying to throw haymakers, and in which case that's not the best way. And you'll notice really quick with these heavy bags that we have, a haymaker is not the way to go.
Couple broken knuckles later.
Yeah, something like that. You really don't want to do that. And so you really just focus on the form for 10 people, which is great. Or now it's 5 people because it's 20 that we can fit in there for 50%.
Right.
So that's been a lot easier for me to correct form, very easy for me to like spot things very quickly, and nobody can really hide behind the other person. People find the benefit of that, but it's kind of what model your business has, right? So like if let's say no COVID exists and we're back to 100% capacity, I've heard pluses and minuses of the big group setting. I have heard, people wanting to step back and maybe like they'll go a little slower because the trainer's not really going to catch them cheating or catch them going slower. But I've also heard the negatives of that, where they feel like the trainer's not even paying attention to them. The trainer can't spot them. The trainer can't see if they're doing that lunge correctly. They can't see if they're doing, if they have the proper form for that chest press or that snatch. Like you're doing snatches, 50 people in a room. It's tough.
Oh, it's so hard. Yeah, it's tough.
Very difficult. Unless the person's going fairly light, where they're not going to injure themselves doing something wrong. If they're going with a 50-pound dumbbell, that's a little bit like they need to know how to use.
That's a solid snatch. That's a
very solid snatch. So it's kind of where it goes back to. It's like group fitness is great in small groups because you can give that personalized attention. You correct people. You can cue people. Hey, adjust your knee. Hey, put more weight into your big toe. I can see that your shoe's lifted up here on that side. Like I can do that very easily, very quickly with a small group setting. With a group fitness where it's 25 people doing the same movement, I can only say that. I can verbalize it to the group as a whole, but I can't really get to each person individually and do that, which is where the downside might be. But it's my responsibility, it's your due diligence as a coach to understand what the most common mistakes are going to be for what kind of exercise you're prescribing at that moment, and say the common correction for that common mistake. If you don't say it, then you've done a disservice to the people that you're coaching, for sure.
So I want to dive in a little bit now that we've been talking about the coaches and the trainers. What is your way or your system that you guys are coaching and developing these these successful trainers and coaches to be able to be spot on, to be able to, be attentive to this group setting class. Cause I know it's not always the easiest thing to, mold everybody, but,
Yeah.
it is definitely possible, especially if you have good leaders like yourself to be able to coach these
No,
coaches.
I
So what
appreciate
do you,
that.
of course, man, I see it firsthand. So what are you guys doing there? Like I know you guys take them through a process, but how does that process look like? And, what's the feedback that you get from your coaches, and what's the feedback you get from your clients, about your coaches,
So,
with the way that you guys do things?
I mean, we have excellent coaches here that are trained up from. I mean, we've had like the girl that I was just training right now, who just taught her first mock class. We train coaches on how to deliver a workout. Delivering the workout is number one. If you can't deliver a workout, and as you coach
Facts.
four
Oh yeah.
modalities, four modalities at once, this workout is very hard to coach. It takes a very special person to be able to time four different things and be able to be on point with each one of those things. Once we get you to that base level, that like qualifies you to then be able to teach as a sub. From that sub, then you have to train higher level. So I go in to teach a lot more of those softer skills, like being personable, the softer skills about being able to correct somebody but without making them feel like shit, like things like that that'll build somebody up while you're breaking them down, because you also have to be able to bring people down from thinking that they can do more than what they really can do. Because you've obviously had that experience in group fitness where someone's like thinking that they're killing it, but you're really doing that deadlift like shit. You're really
Yeah,
like repping it out
for
way too
sure.
quick, and your back has been rounded for the last 18 reps. Like chill
Yeah.
out, pull back. But you have to be able to run into those situations. And based on the experience that I've had over the past 8 years of coaching, I've dealt with that. I've dealt with being able to talk somebody up when they need to be talked up so they can feel empowered after a class, even though they maybe they didn't work out that well that class. Maybe they didn't have such a great class, but they're going to come back for that next class if you empower them enough to feel like they did a good job. And then you also have to take that person who comes in from a different kind of background where they think they're hot shit, and you got to break them down and understand that your training program is slightly different and they have to adjust their intensities so that they're able to last and make it through, because you're not training the same systems with different workouts. You're training different systems. Having that background and having that understanding of what system you're training and then what system the person's coming from, and being able to mold that into something that can mesh well, is how you become or how you become an excellent coach, because you're getting someone who doesn't necessarily believe in your system of training to then buy into it.
Yep.
Because you're using stuff that they're already used to, you're using stuff that they're already like in love with, and you're introducing something brand new. You're just finding that mix. And I've done that so many times over the years that I can give people firsthand examples and they can role play and we can go from there.
Now, I feel like, yeah, especially in group fitness, I used to teach group fitness at Anatomy when I first left Equinox, and it was a great experience. I definitely learned a lot about how to handle big coaching groups. I mean, I had done it when I worked in the strength labs, but a little different with athletes, because when you're working with people that are paying you, like you said, you kind of got to give them some of the stuff that they like. When you're working with athletes, like, all right, shut up. This is the work that we're doing. All right, now do it and get out of here. Right?
Like, I mean, if you're not like that, they'll walk all over you sometimes. So you got to do what you got to do.
Sometimes, all the time, all the time.
This guy tells me stories.
But I think in the general population group fitness world, there's been, and I'm glad that you're mentioning the things that you've been mentioning about the coaching cues and regressions and progressions and how to make everyone feel balanced, because a lot of the times nowadays I feel like people put too much emphasis on like the music and the experience, and they tend to forget that the programming, the workout itself, is the experience. Like they're so focused on making sure that everyone is happy and having fun, which is super important, but they forget the fact that people came to work out. Like they came to get a good workout and feel good, and not necessarily like, yeah, they want to sweat and burn a lot of calories and do that, but not get the shit beat out of them. Like be able to come back the next day.
So yeah, that's the whole objective, and being able to. So when we first opened up at Antidote, it was much different. Every coach was able to design their own workouts. We had a template, we had a layout of how things were supposed to be. And we found after a while that's the way it was. Our utilization was fairly low. We found that with being able to program things to be smart, you know, they understand that on Monday, they're not going to be going heavy on weights because we have full body. So like full body day, you're going to go lighter to medium weights. You're not going to kill your legs. You're not going to kill your arms, because Tuesday, guess what? You're doing upper body. On Tuesday, guess what? I am doing strength. I am asking for 8 reps. I am asking for heavy. Like, I don't need your arms to be exhausted from yesterday for you to like try to go heavy the next day. You're just going to like obliterate yourself. So what's a way to drive utilization is having smart programming.
Right.
Once you have that programming laid out, we have a great blueprint, which is what me and Danny work on so diligently. And what we worked on during COVID, we designed so many programs over COVID. And now we're just kind of putting everything together to make sense. And so once you have that blueprint, you're solid. All the trainers are coaching smart. All the trainers are coaching what you're asking them to coach. Then you move on to the entertainment value, because yes, the workouts can be great, but honestly, man, if you're not entertained, you're not going to come back. So entertainment
And I want to stop it right there for a sec, just because, you know, for me experiencing, I definitely want to say and bring that up. You know, you guys done a great job, you know, being able to add value on the workout aspect, yet keep it entertaining. Like, I was like, holy shit, I'm in a party right now, but I'm getting tons of value from this party. I'm not just partying to party. I'm partying, getting value. So, you know, at the same time, you know, I'm there, you know, and even me as a coach, I'm like listening to what you're saying the whole time, how you're engaged with the class, yet you're making it fun. The, you know, the lights, the music, the interaction, the way that the whole setup goes in, it's just it flows very well. And then, you know, I feel like I'm just having a great experience overall. So, you know, I definitely got to give it to you guys. It's very unique what you guys are doing at Antidote, because, you know, as much as, there's other places that have the lights, have the this, have the that, but I think the overall experience, not many people are fully embodying that somewhere else, where I feel like at Antidote, you know, you guys are giving that. And, you know, even from the moment you walk in through the doors, you're not for anything, but the design, the sleekness to it, the edge to it, the modern to it, the detail to it. I think it's just all that speaks attention, connection, awareness, value from the moment you walk in there to the attention that you get with a coach at the front desk. And, you know, you guys hold assessments. You guys do certain
so
testing.
like that's another thing.
Like Equinox
we've been talking about fitness lab,
level.
like fitness lab this entire time.
Yeah.
But like what Antidote Wellness Labs is like three components. Like, I'm literally sitting. I don't know if you guys. It's like relax, recharge, rejuvenate.
Oh, that's sick.
We
got one coming in soon. Gonna be put right here.
Perfect. Neon is all the. Everybody wants.
So the new rage. It's a new rage.
But look, I'm literally like, I'm next to recovery boots. Like, we have Theraguns up here. Like, we have all our equipment. Our infrared saunas are over here.
Dude, dope.
Like, honestly, like, this is our recovery lab, and we stress recovery more than anything. But we are like a wellness concept, you know. Like, I would show you outside right now for the metabolic lab. We put people up and they do metabolic carts. We put people up.
You got people on like the real VO2.
100%.
Oh yeah,
dude, they got
those are brutal. Those are brutal, man. I'm surprised. Like, you have a lot of people signed up, ready to go. They're like excited about that.
Some people do sub max tests.
Okay.
Some people do. I did a max test because you know,
like it's super uncomfortable, right? And like very unattractive.
It's not that bad. It's not that bad.
No, I mean it's not bad if you're used to it, but like the first time it can be like a very you
have to wear like the backpack on and all that stuff. Yeah.
You like take the mask off, all this drool's coming out of your mouth. You know, you're like, oh, is anyone watching me? I hope there's no girls over here. Like, I'm.
But yeah, we do all that stuff to make something, just a program that's really personalized to you. And off that, you see like whether or not you're burning your calories from fat, from carbs at rest or during work. And we teach you how to shift those ratios. So you're not like constantly just trying to figure out, hey, why am I not losing weight? Hey, why am I not performing the way that I need to? Hey, is it because you're not breathing correctly? Is it because you're breathing all from your pectorals, your accessory muscles, and you're not doing anything from your diaphragm? What kind of breathing exercises can you do to help you flip that ratio up, so that when we do your assessment again or your reassessment in 6 weeks, 8 weeks, like, your ratios are not the same and you're not stagnant. You're seeing improvements and you're seeing hard data that tell you exactly what you need.
And I think it's that attention to detail in a group environment, you know, in a fitness facility that offers that. In a group setting, you don't see that often. You don't see that often in many other locations.
Almost never.
I don't even know who to name, you know, it's only you guys right now. So, you know, I think that's something that really separates you guys apart from the rest, you know, on top of everything that we were talking before. So
everybody has their own, sorry to interrupt. Everybody has their own like homework assignment in a sense as they're going into that fitness lab. Like, if you know you're not supposed to get your heart rate to a certain point, you're wearing a heart rate monitor to kind of show you where you need to end up. And they have their cues. They know when to pull back. They know when to pick it up. They know at what exact moment throughout the class they're supposed to hit it. It's the same concept as when I had PT clients. Like, you're going back to your group fit, like you're going back home to your group fitness area, and you're going to see me when you need to, but you're going to go back home, and you need to understand, and you need to be self-empowered and or not self-educated. I educate you, but you need to have that tool that's going to help you, I guess, navigate through that group fitness workout. Because unfortunately, sometimes you do go in a group fitness setting and the coach doesn't always know exactly what they need to be doing to help you. So wouldn't you rather walk into a place feeling empowered and understanding, like, hey, when I see this exercise, because I know it's probably going to show up, I'm going to do this instead, and I'm going to feel good about it. Like, I'm not, taking a shortcut. Like, I'm not holding back, but I'm doing what my body can do because I understand what's going on in my body.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Now you mentioned buy-in earlier, and a big part of buy-in is, like, the trust that you build within your community, right? And it's very obvious that yourself and the coaches that you have around you are very educated on what your client base needs and how to get them to where they need to go, right? Yeah. But besides like the information base, right? Because not necessarily everyone comes from PT school or has a master's degree in the field, right? How do you get your clients to buy into, like you were talking about, homework or the metabolic card and all that stuff? So because some people just want to come in and move around and feel good.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, as they're doing that, they should be learning more about their body and learning more about the sensations that they're feeling and the cues that lead them to make the decisions that they make, right? So how do you get your member base to buy into all of that, except for just, throwing a bunch of knowledge at them, right? Because at some times that can be, overwhelming for people as well.
Just to understand what you're trying to tell me is, you're asking me, how do you get someone to want to do a metabolic cart, or how do you get somebody to want to understand their body better?
Not just want to get to do it, but really understand why they need to be doing these things and why they need to be focusing on the information that they're getting from all of these tests and all of these different things that you guys provide, which is honestly amazing, man, because no one's doing this stuff.
Correct.
Not in a group setting.
not in a group setting, and not in a way that it's affordable for a lot of people, and it's very affordable and accessible to a lot of people. So that's what I'm very proud of, is what we're doing here. And so I guess the best way is to show them results from other people. Show them and let them understand that even me as a coach, as the person that's giving them the workout, I do it myself, and I've seen results from it. Showing those testimonials from the people that are responsible for taking you through these workouts is very important. It holds a lot of value, and it resonates with people. And I feel like anyone that's gone into group fitness or done group fitness for a while and has plateaued, they don't really understand what's going to take them to that next level. It's literally on our wall in another amazing neon, by the way.
Let's go.
Let's go neon.
Next time we're gonna have to take a little tour, online tour.
For sure. It's crack your body's code. And
there you go.
Understand what is that missing piece that you need. And so you've tried everything else. You've done the diets. You've done like the teas, the Herbalives, or whatever you've tried. But you haven't understood what makes your body tick and what's going on when you're working out. What's going on when you're at rest. Are you at a high stress state where you're producing a lot of cortisol and you're just not going to be able to lose that fat? What's going to get you out of it? So that's what our metabolic coach is responsible for. We have two really good metabolic coaches here.
So I want to bring up, because I know you mentioned the testimonies, and I think that testimonies are truly powerful, especially if you use them the right way. Just because I want to know, and I want our listeners to hear some of the testimonials that people have said about that experience there at Antidote, not just only the workout experience, but the experience of the assessments and the testings. For people that maybe it might have been their first time experiencing what it is to do some of these assessments and testings, and for some people, like Josh mentioned, it might be intimidating. It might be something that is their first time, and they're a little scared to do it, and while they're on it, they're trying to understand it. What are some of those big testimonials that you've gotten from people like that after they experienced that and then have gone through the workouts and then realized, wow, this is great information. I never knew this. This is something I feel like I really know. What did those testimonials sound like from people like that?
Well, I mean, honestly, there's this one guy who always, me and him are competing about who has the best abs in class. Like coming into the workout, he had come from a triathlon background, and he should be up on our testimonials at some point within the next couple of weeks, talking about his whole journey with Antidote. And he actually joined one of our transformation challenges when we were first opening up in the studio. He actually won that challenge, ended up getting a hotel stay in like the Four Seasons or something like that.
Can I join?
Really awesome. Yeah.
I mean, you can just throw that our way, you know.
He saw a huge result from that, and ever since then he's just gotten better and better and better. And actually, during the whole quarantine for 3 months, 4 months while the gym was closed, he was doing his workouts and the workouts that we provided via Antidote Wellness Lab's Instagram Live. And yeah, like he came back from quarantine, like one of these first classes coming back. And I was like, dude, you're freaking shredded right now, man. Like, what have you been doing? And I would see him literally, like, I would pass by that metabolic lab and he was in there with JC working and like had the mask on doing his testing multiple times. Like he wouldn't just go once and then go back in 6 months. Like he was on it, like using his membership, like what your membership is for. When we say it's like unlimited, like, yo, use that shit. Like be in this, like don't have Juan sitting down in this massage chair right now, but you be in here with compression boots on, knowing that tomorrow's leg day, like fresh pair of legs for tomorrow, you know, like you need to be in here.
Shout out to Nordatech, by the way.
There we go.
Shout out to Nordatech.
And I gotta ask, because you said there was some ab checking going on between you and him and some little ab. So who really had the best abs at the end?
Oh man, it's tough. I mean, I want to throw it to him just because he's got the age on me.
Okay.
But
okay.
Like, you know, I'm a youngin. I'm a youngster. I still got like another 10 years to get to. If I have abs like him when I'm 10 years older from now, then I'll send him a picture and be like, yo.
I love the answer. I love the honesty.
Mendez and I always try to compare, you know, physiques too, but it's who has the better empanada gut, you know, like who's got more croquetas in the stomach.
With a little fork, what are those called? The impressions or whatever.
Yeah, like the little stance.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
But yeah, I think that if you use the membership for what it's for, if you're doing your metabolic testing, if you're doing your metabolic appointments, if you're doing your 3D scans, like it's not being obsessed with a number on a scale. It's really just seeing the changes in your body. Because maybe you didn't lose weight, but you developed more shoulder girth, I guess. I don't know, more shoulder width. When I got back out of quarantine, I did my scan again, and I realized that, you know, I didn't work out legs as often as I did during quarantine because I was leading these 40-minute workouts on Instagram Live 4 times a week, and I was primarily doing legs on those days. And time under tension, like barely any dumbbell weight, and I grew like 3 inches in my thighs, like 4 inches in my ass, like great.
Boom.
You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
I had glutes and core day, and I had leg day.
Someone's got to hit up Lincoln Road to go get some new clothes.
There you go.
You know, you got some more,
but it was something that like
girl clients on that.
had I not done that 3D scan, I would have never known. And I saw like a change in my posture as well. So these are all like small little successes that you wouldn't see if you're just doing measurements on someone or doing calipers on someone. That 3D scan really, it just shows your entire body 390 degrees, really.
Great. I got 2 questions for you. One, just to follow up on what you just said, right? Like those small wins are so important for people.
Yeah.
And the majority of people overlook them every single time that
100%.
they're thrown in their face, right? So first question, right, is, you know, how do you get people to understand that, you know, what you know, having better sleep quality, you know, making better food choices, you know, coming to the gym an extra time, or, you know, coming to the gym when you didn't feel like coming to the gym, you know, all of these small wins. How do you get people to understand that, you know, this is really what we're talking about that will lead you to the physiological things that you're looking for?
Correct. So I guess there's like subjective and objective ways of doing this. So like the subjective ways is literally you have to over exaggerate every reaction to any of these small wins.
Yeah.
Like literally, if you see a change in posture from somebody on that 3D scan, be like, holy shit, like look at that posture, like amazing, and over celebrate any of the small wins. Like, so what if you didn't lose a pound? Like, I don't care. Like, your posture's amazing. Your waist looks thinner. Like, your body distributed differently over these past 6 weeks, like, or 4 weeks. And then objectively is like, hey, you've been getting better sleep. Like, you're being honest with me, right? Like, you've been getting better sleep. You've been drinking more water. You've been doing this. Now, if you've been doing that objectively on your own and you're being honest with me, let's do this MET test and see what the difference is. Right. Oh, you're here at rest and your respiration rate went from 17, 18 breaths a minute to now 12 breaths a minute, now 8 breaths a minute. Like, wow, your breathing rate has gone down, which means you're being more efficient with your breathing throughout that minute. Like, amazing. You know, you literally cut your breathing rate in half over the past 6 weeks. Like, incredible. So we praise honesty, we encourage honesty, and we over exaggerate the small wins to give you that feeling of, hey, this is actually working, because it is. And even as coaches, we have certain things that we agree upon to remind people these things.
Right. No, definitely. I gotta agree, because you know, when Josh is super honest with me and I walk into that door and he tells me how sexy I look every day. Holy
Jesus
shit.
Christ, here we go.
Oh man.
Here we go. We're gonna be on this. I hope you got another hour. We're gonna be on this topic for like 45 more minutes. Here we go.
Those little micro wins every time, it just gets me going.
Listen, Jenny, don't listen to this. Don't listen to this, Jenny. All we need to do is look in the DMs and we know who's sexier. So we'll just leave it at that. But my second question, right, is like we've talked about, you know, COVID a little bit in the lockdown. Was there anything that you were able to kind of take a step back now that you had a little bit of more free time? You weren't well, I'm assuming, right, because you're not in the gym doing all the awesome things that you guys are normally doing. Was there areas or like certain tasks or systems that you guys had in place that, you know, you were able to take a step back and really examine from a farther viewpoint, that you said like, okay, well, you know, we can do this a little better, or were there things where you're like, okay, we're going to double down on these, you know, 4 things or 5 things, just like little takeaways that you learned over the quarantine period that other people who run gyms, or, you know, maybe want to start their own gym, or, you know, even just going on their own to be like a PT or a personal trainer or whatever, right? Is there things that you were able to, because there's a ton of stuff that Mendes and I have, you know, thrown back and forth since we started the podcast, which, you know, started over the quarantine. Was there anything that you learned?
Some other things too, like personally that I saw, like some growth and development with that stuff too. Yeah.
So could you kind of, you know, dive into some of those things, elaborate as much as you want, just so, you know, our listeners and the people who are going to be watching this on YouTube can really get a better understanding of like, okay, well, I'm not alone in this. These are the same thoughts I've had, or maybe, you know, I can kind of implement some of the stuff and adjust it in my own gym and my own business, so that I can further myself and grow and continue to build.
And we love hearing this, because so many coaches have unique answers and different answers too, you know, believe it or not, which is great, because it gives us feedback, gives the users feedback, and you can learn a lot. So we definitely would love to hear your feedback on that and that approach.
Definitely. Just so I'm understanding the question correct, it's you want to understand, you want to go back to see what I looked at, or what we as a company looked at about our processes over the last 3 months, you know, where we had some downtime because of the fact that we weren't in that hustle and bustle.
Yeah. Anything.
And see whether or not we reset things.
Yeah. Anything that stuck out to you when you were able to kind of take a step back and really examine everything that you guys are doing, which is, you know, amazing stuff, man. I mean, honestly, like, I've been in the industry for 11 years, and you know, this is really the first time I've heard of an all-encompassing program like what you guys have. So, you know, really kudos.
That's
kudos
a
to
good
you.
thing and a bad thing, because we haven't been doing our job.
I know, fuck man. I know, right? As a whole,
you have to go back and
I'm gonna have to take Josh down to Pinecrest, closer to my area, to come.
Yeah, I was thinking like, all right, man, if you do this every day, I guess I can figure. It's so hard to get me to leave the beach, man. It's so hard. It's like
I literally do this. Like, I used to teach at 5 o'clock in the morning 4 times a week.
Wow.
Like, I would leave the beach at 4:15, get here by like 4:40. You know, I mean, honestly, the beach it's a 22-minute drive at 4 o'clock in the morning. It's a 25-minute drive. I leave at 5:30, 5:40, and I get here at 6:05.
By 9 a.m., it's an hour and a half.
Look, Josh is gonna meet you at Yardbird, and he's gonna hitch a ride with you.
Yeah, I'm more of a yard house type of guy, but I'll meet you at Yardbird. Let's go. You're right down the street. Yeah. But so what are those processes? What are the things that you've really learned?
As I mentioned, like we're very good about growing. We're very good about like this entire 3 months. I don't think I can say that I was bored ever. Whether it was shooting or programming the Instagram lives, because not only did we program for this stuff that we got going on in here in the brick and mortar, but we'd have to program for each one of those live classes. It wasn't just get behind a camera and like talk shit for 40 minutes. Like there's a.
Are you saying something about what we do?
But yeah, you guys definitely plan for these podcasts. You have questions and stuff too, so that takes time when people don't.
With a little shit talk.
With a little, dick and fart jokes sprinkled in there.
We'll call that like your personality sprinkled in there.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yeah, I think we definitely we went over a lot of our things, saying like, hey, this is the current process we have for Metabolic Lab. What can we do to adjust it? Oh, can we get the person to see you earlier? Can we get them to see you later? Do we have to open up availability? What are the barriers that are getting people to stop or not getting people in here? Like, what do we need to do? How can we work together as an ecosystem to make this thing successful? And those are kinds of things that we kind of looked at. Recovery lab, how like we moved the recovery lab in here to a different spot just so that it have more traffic. Big things happened in the studio, like big renovations happened in the studio while people were out. That we invested a lot into because we thought, or we understood that it would make things better, not only as a coach, your experience once you're in there, but as a member taking the class based on how things were organized before, like we adjusted things. So for me, myself, as a PT and as a coach, I feel like prior to COVID, I was coaching quite too much and not doing enough PT. And I feel like for me to live a balanced life and to feel like I'm being true to myself and what I need to make myself feel good, I need to do more PT and less coaching. So find that easy balance and more PT, less coaching, more coaching development. So it's passing on my knowledge to more people to create more.
God bless you for that, man.
Yeah.
Thank you. We need more coaches like that for sure.
It's super
no
important.
hidden secrets.
Yeah, and it's very important to empower coaches. Like I would have loved to have somebody tell me this shit when I was younger. Like tell me this stuff that I'm telling the coaches now.
And that's why you're telling them.
Yeah, exactly. When I'm
Great observation.
Orange tea, like
yeah.
I had to point it out.
Two and two together. Yeah. But yeah, like I wish that when I was 24 years old, 23 years old, thinking that I was the shit, like no, like someone needed to humble me down and explain these things to me in a way that would sink in, to where I could. It's not that I didn't develop it later on, but it took so many like hits to the head to like get it done. Where like if I could avoid you getting or hitting that brick wall or hitting that speed bump along the road, like why not? At least I did. Like I said, it's almost like you tell everybody to do a deadlift and you didn't tell people to keep their back flat. Like, yeah, you know to keep your back flat, but like you didn't tell people. Like you made that mistake, so you didn't.
POS.
Yeah, you didn't do your due diligence. You didn't tell people to do what they had to do. So it's like the same thing with me. Maybe that person or that coach needs to hit that speed bump or needs to hit that brick wall, but it's not going to be because I didn't tell them they were going to hit it.
Yeah.
You know, like I already told you how to avoid it. I already told you how to get over that speed bump, but you chose to hit it yourself. Well, that's what happens. But now it becomes much more of a lesson because you're like, oh yeah, I already knew this was coming, and somebody told me about it. I still did it, but now it's like it's sunk in, and I'm never going to do it again.
That's a great lesson for a lot of people to learn, man, especially for, those of us who've been in the industry for a while. I think it really is upon us to, do the things like what you're doing, even use opportunities like what we have with the podcast to really try to enlighten the people who are just starting in the field or who are a little unsure about the direction that they need to take their coaching career in. So, kudos to you, man. I think you got a really great thing going. I know we're almost at an hour now with the time flies. So, Before Mendez asks his final question, which he loves to do, I want to give you, which is awesome. I want to give you an opportunity, just to let everyone who's going to be watching this on YouTube and who's going to be listening to audios on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, where they can find you. If they want to come take the classes, where exactly Antidote is in Pinecrest, and anywhere that they can find information from you as to how they can further their own training career, whether it be like as a member or as a coach.
Yeah. So you can find me at Antidote Wellness Labs. I'm here on 11423 South Dixie Highway. If you don't know where that is, it's Sunnyland Plaza next to the Flanagans.
Boom, the Flanagans. Hey, everyone knows where the Flanagans at. Everyone knows where Flanagans is at.
Easy thing. I could say Piola. I could say any other restaurant in here, but
Nice.
Flanagans, everybody knows what it is.
Great.
So that's kind of the spot where we're at. And so you can come and catch me morning, nighttime, whenever you want. I'm on the schedule.
Awesome. Can't wait to come take one of your classes.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm going to drag you over here.
Let's do it.
Saturday morning, 8 a.m. We make it happen, dude.
All right, man. That's no problem. I'm usually at Flamingo Track.
And then on your way there, you pick me up.
Okay.
I'm in South Miami.
Too. Yeah, that's even better, dude. We'll make
he
it
just
happen.
wants to ride in the car with us. He's jealous. He's going to be jealous.
And they can find me also at Inspire Health on Instagram. I've had that handle since 2010 or whenever Instagram sent me started.
There we go. There we go.
Lock that thing down, never changing it.
Smart.
That's where they can find me. And I guess what I want to tell people is that like getting to the position where I'm at now, it has its ups and downs. And like honestly, like throughout PT school, it was extremely difficult to do PT school and coach class. I was coaching 14 classes a week at that point.
Shit. That's a lot.
And while doing full-time PT school, so it was through my rotations. Like I coached at 4:30 in the morning, coached at 5:30 in the morning, went to school from 8 to 5, studied. Like literally, I was known in PT school for falling asleep. Like,
Same.
I feel you. And anywhere there was like a moment for me to lay down on that couch, that community couch that we had in our communal space, like that was me. It was exactly 6'2", like for my body to fit in there flat. Knocked out like
perfect for you.
My sleeping pattern was so bad that like I would immediately fall into REM. Like my body's like, this guy's sleeping.
Boom.
Mayday, put him right into REM.
Get that recovery going.
Like I swear I would dream within seconds of falling asleep, and remember those dreams.
Remember not wanting to wake up.
But like it was worth it for me because I did want to build my community along the way and teach people through my Instagram. Like I would continue to post like when I was studying, I would always timestamp everything when I was waking up. Like people understand the grind the entire way, and they won't understand it unless you show them.
100%.
So
awesome.
I was very public with everything that I did. Like I mean, if you were my stalker, you would probably like be able to be there whenever because like I was literally like, boom, I'm here studying. Boom, I'm here at the library. Boom, I'm here in PT school. Boom, I'm here at Orange Theory. Boom, I'm here. Like understand that like it's not easy, but if you have the will for it, you have the way. Like I literally cried when I submitted my last paper for PT school because it felt so fucking good to like be done.
I bet, man.
And never give up along the way and have those trials and tribulations and those things that make you stronger. But,
I couldn't agree more, man. I couldn't agree more. I understand, from my own path getting to where I am, it's very similar to yours, and it's not easy, it's not easy. I mean, even the way, Mendez rose up the ranks, it's not easy. It's, it's a very difficult field to be in.
It's grind, it's consistency, and people don't understand that.
Yeah.
Like that's all.
Yeah.
It's literally like it's how long can you do this for and how consistent can you be?
Yeah.
Are you going to show up when there's only 3 people? Are you going to show up only when there's 50 people? Are you going to show up when there's nobody there?
Yeah.
Are you going to be there? And once people see that, then they understand like, hey, this guy's going to be, and then they'll put their trust in you.
Yeah. I really appreciate you.
What's up?
So I was just saying, I really appreciate you sharing all that because it's truly informative.
Yeah, of course. The worst thing you can ever do for somebody is not show up.
100%.
Yeah.
So now with all this value, man, tremendous value, and I appreciate you, coming on here and delivering this. I got 3 questions for you. I'll start off, one at each one. First one, I know you mentioned new things with Antidote. My question is, are you guys expanding other locations and where to?
Yeah.
If you can mention.
Yeah, definitely, definitely, and definitely. Um,
It's kind of like he knew.
I know.
Right?
Yeah, something like that. Maybe I saw one of these podcasts here and there. Yes. Oh man, I don't know if I can mention it though. I can say it's gonna be much closer to you, Mendez. Maybe a little bit north of that.
Okay. So more
In a
like
very up and
Gables
coming.
area.
No, no, like
No?
more north, more northeast.
Okay.
That
Okay.
like
Oh,
like
the Grove.
something similar.
Yeah, just keep naming them until he gets in trouble.
Something
Keep name.
similar.
Oh, so like right on this street on like Bird Road, where like right next to the Dunkin' Donuts.
But yeah, definitely be on the lookout for that.
Sounds
I
good.
mean, we've
Awesome,
been honestly we've been pushing so hard to like try to keep things on schedule as much as we can. It's very hard as a company. I don't know if anybody's ever had it or anybody listening has experience with building things out. There's always things that happen, but hey, who knew or who could have predicted a 4-month lockdown?
Yeah.
You know, nobody. But yeah, definitely big plans for the future for Antidote. And yeah, as far as mentioning everything, not yet, but definitely.
Well, when you can, we'll have you back on the
Definitely.
podcast.
Oh, it's
In
gonna be good.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah,
In
it's
person.
gonna be good.
So
Yeah.
question number 2, and this just goes in your whole entire career. It doesn't have to be only an antidote. So in your whole entire career teaching group, what's the craziest and wildest shit you've ever seen?
Literally has to do with shit.
You did?
Wait, what?
No, somebody shit themselves.
Oh,
Really?
shit.
Like in the like on the floor?
Oh, man.
On a bench.
Like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Dude.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that was yeah. I can't
Horrifying.
I can't even. I've had people fall off treadmills. I've had people, like snap rowers in half. Like they ripped the handle off the rower. It was like a rope, like the water rowers. You know how they have that flat
Yeah.
rope? Yeah, I've had like them ripped that apart. But I think honestly, like
It's hard to be more horrifying than
It was
You
shitting
can't.
yourself, dude.
yeah, I know. Like
you can't like. It's not about just shitting yourself, but like the shit like
in public.
went
Yeah.
through the pants. Like
Oh
It was-
no!
it was-
Hopefully they were wearing white, so it was really
they were
noticeable.
not wearing white; they were
man.
wearing black. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah, you're like, I remember every detail.
Yeah. It's tough, but I
Man.
mean, it happens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I know
That's
me and
probably-
Josh
I
have
always say
shared.
that's the most work.
We shared. There was one podcast where we shared some really horror stories that
Oh,
we've seen
man,
at
too
Equinox and
too
other
many.
gyms, and
Too many.
that was pretty wild. So
Too
if
many.
you go
Yeah.
back in our solo convos, you'll be able to hear some of my stories that
Ooh.
involve shitting as well.
Nice.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, exactly.
I completely forgot about that.
Yeah.
So definitely crazy. So last question. What is the biggest piece of advice you can leave to all our users and listeners today? Whatever advice it is, could be coaching, life, whatever it is you want to deliver.
Why'd you get so sensual? Why'd you get so sensual with that delivery? Life, whatever.
Because we're wrapping.
Yeah, we're wrapping the thing up. It all has to do with that consistency, man. Always stay on it. Like I said, show up for 2 people, show up for 10 people, show up for 20 people, and eventually you're showing up for 200 people. You're showing up for 500 people. But the second you get discouraged based on how many people are viewing your shit or how many people are in there with you, like that's you don't need that. You don't need that approval. So stay consistent, stay on the grind, and let people know.
Guys, you heard it. Stay consistent. Stay on the grind. And
Yeah.
let people know.
Thank you for being on one. I can't wait to come down, check out the facility, take a bunch of classes, sweat, make an ass of myself. So
It'll be fun.
looking forward to it.
As long as you don't show yourself, you're good, bro.
Yeah,
I'll try not to. I'll try not to. We'll stay away from the empanadas till after the class.
Exactly. Yeah. So
I'll
definitely
take
not
care.
Yardbird the night before. We'll leave that for Saturday night.
Yeah. We'll leave that for after. I might get a salad.
That's Sunday's deal.
I might get a salad.
Yeah, I might still get a salad there. I don't know. We'll see. But thanks, man. We really appreciate it.
No problem. All right, guys. Take care.
Have a good one.